Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some of the stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Can the carbon dioxide that's helping to broil the planet actually be used for good? We hear from real people in the Gaza Strip as politicians in Bahrain discuss the future of the occupied territories. Seniors in South Korea living their best life. And rockers do a huge haka at a festival in Denmark. And top of our newsfeed, global heating. Europe's about to go through a heat wave of abnormally high temperatures. It's just another indication of the climate crisis. Now, the temperature will be in the mid-30s in many places in Europe, and that is just not normal. And it's set to be like this for the next week at least. It's feared that many people will die. Now, the reason the climate is heating is because of the amount of carbon dioxide being spewed into the atmosphere. And in Germany, a bunch of the brightest minds are meeting to discuss some of the ways we can reduce the amount of carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere. One of those minds belongs to Katie Armstrong from the Carbon Utilisation Centre at Sheffield University in the United Kingdom. So, Katie, what are you working on?
Yeah, so we're using the carbon molecule in the carbon dioxide to make real products that then go onto the market. So there are companies here with products that are actually on the market, so you can actually buy products made from captured carbon dioxide. And then there's plenty of new science that we're talking about as well, about making new products in the future that can be used. It's kind of carbon recycling is what we're talking about.
And what kind of things can you make, Katie?
So things that are made at the moment, you can buy aggregates, and building materials made from CO2, from captured CO2. You can buy polyurethane mattresses, memory foam mattresses made from CO2. People are making methanol from CO2 right now. But there's a whole range of new products that can be made from CO2. Pretty much we can replace there's carbon used in the chemical industry with carbon from carbon dioxide. So we're looking at many, many, many applications.
But doesn't the CO2 come out eventually?
So it depends what the product you're making. So if you're making a mineralized product, so one of these aggregates, building materials that I was talking about, the carbon from the carbon dioxide is locked up inside that material and it's not going to go back into the atmosphere. So it's like carbon capture and storage in the amount that the carbon dioxide is stored within that building material and it will stay there for forever, basically. With the mattress type products, the carbon dioxide is locked up for as long as that mattress is in use, and that material can be recycled over and over again, and the carbon dioxide stays in it. With some of the other products, we're talking like methanol or fuels made from CO2. You're using carbon dioxide to make the product, but you're also avoiding using new virgin fossil fuels and putting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. So although the carbon dioxide will go back into the atmosphere when you've used the product, burnt it for the fuel as you need it, you've actually avoided putting new virgin fossil sources into the atmosphere. So you're reducing carbon dioxide that way.
And is this going to help save the planet?
We need zero carbon emissions, but we still need carbon in our lives to do the things that for the products we need to use. So it's all about, can we recycle that carbon so we're limiting our emissions into the atmosphere. So this is one technology in a whole range of myriad of technologies that we're going to need to fight climate change, to stop emitting carbon dioxide to the atmosphere. CO2 utilisation will not save the world on its own. We've got to use a whole range of resources to reach the goals that we're achieving. And this is one technique that can be part of that mix.
All right, thank you, Katie Armstrong. Now, have you ever had a conversation about something, maybe a little obscure, something you don't usually talk about, and bam, one of your social media accounts is suddenly trying to sell you something related to it? Well, Gail King from CBS This Morning sat down with Instagram CEO Adam Mosseri and demanded to know if Instagram is listening in on private conversations.
There's two ways that can happen. One is dumb luck, which can happen. The second is...
Repeatedly, but go ahead.
Repeatedly. The second is you might be talking about something because it's top of mind, because you've been interacting with that type of content more recently. So maybe you're really into food and restaurants.
Yeah.
You saw a restaurant on Facebook or on Instagram, you maybe like the thing, it's top of mind, maybe that's subconscious, and then it bubbles up later. I think this kind of happens often in ways that are really subtle, but we don't look at your messages, we don't listen on your microphone. Doing so would be super problematic for a lot of different reasons, but I recognize that you're not going to really believe me on this.
Yes.
No, I get this once a week.
I don't believe you. I don't know how this happens repeatedly.
I don't know how to convince you.
Okay, does it happen to you? No.
I'm sure. I don't want to just say no out of the... I'm sure it's happened.
I don't believe him for a second. Let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media.
Can you feel the love tonight in perfect harmony with all its living things?
Yes, that was Beyonce and Donald Glover singing Can You Feel the Love Tonight from the much-hyped new Lion King movie. It'll be out on July the 19th, and this ad, which dropped a couple of days ago, is giving people who know and love the original piece tons of feels. Now, people online are saying that while they can't wait to see the new movie, they're not quite ready for that moment when Mustafa dies in the gorge. Hate that scar so much.
Can you feel the...
Now, this is police body cam footage of the actor Jussie Smollett before police say he begins to lie to them about being attacked. The actor says two men put a noose, that thing you can see around his neck, and poured bleach on him. The police didn't believe in, and the men Jussie said did it say he paid them to do it. The police said that it was done to try and get sympathy and to get a new and better contract for his TV show Empire. Jussie Smollett ended up with no contract at all. And Keanu Reeves is fast becoming the most popular man on social media, and the latest move to cement his standing as a stand-up guy is a Change.org petition asking for him to be named Time Magazine Person of the Year. Just Google Keanu waits in the rain or Keanu eats a sandwich, and you'll see why this Hollywood star is getting props for being seemingly totally normal. Now, a peace plan has been revealed by the United States, and a lot of people will tell you it's a disaster. No one thinks it will work, but people are discussing it in Bahrain. Now, Palestinians are not there, but we have been speaking to some Palestinians in the Gaza Strip. Here's Hind.
I'm in the middle of the Rimal neighborhood. Rimal is one of the busiest streets in the Gaza Strip, where it has hundreds of shops. And as you see, Palestinians in the Gaza and the West Bank declared a general strike, refusing the deal of the century. Palestinians all over Palestine are on strike. Schools, hospitals, universities, central banks, governmental departments are all on strike against the deal of the century. Palestinians simply are not willing to give up on their lands for $50 billion, whether it's infrastructure, business, economy, whatever. Palestinians won't give up on their land nor their rights. And Trump's administration and Kushner are willing to pay as much as they can to make Palestinians give up on their land. Let's talk to more Palestinians and see what they think about the deal of the century.
They want us to recognize Jerusalem as the capital of Israel, while it's our capital. Palestine is for us and not for them.
Deal of the century? I want to return to my land in Ramleh, but I can't reach it. I want factions here to come together so we can get Palestine back. We must stand together.
Not even for $50 trillion. Of course not. Who would want to sell their land? But in my view, if the status quo goes on, then they would sell it for 10 cents.
I totally reject it. We don't approve it at all. This is our life, and it is our right to live it, just like any other people. The whole world is conspiring against the population. I say to the whole world that they will not overcome the Palestinians.
Well, now we'll look again at the Central Park Five, the 5 teenagers wrongly convicted of rape and murder in New York in 1989. Their story is being talked about again because of a show on Netflix and the US president's continued incorrect stance on the issue. The BET Awards honored them last night.
But I know that in telling our truth, our lives have been changed forever.
around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Tuesday. And they say that turkeys don't vote for Christmas. In America, a bunch of billionaires have written this on Medium, an open letter calling for a wealth tax on the very wealthiest of the 1%. They say America has a moral responsibility to tax them more and that the tax would generate $3 trillion in 10 years. Now, some of the billionaire boys and girls who signed the letter include George Soros, Abigail Disney, and Chris Hughes. The internet has been cut in Rakhine-state in Myanmar. The army is fighting a group there called the Arakan Army who want Buddhists in Rakhine to have political autonomy from central government. Remember, it's just over a year that nearly 1 million Muslims were displaced from Rakhine as the army said they were fighting an insurgency. The internet has been cut off since Friday and rights groups say it could be covering up an increase in the fighting. Now, some neo-Nazis had planned a festival in Germany at the weekend, but the local council and the local people did all they could to make sure the neo-Nazis could not get drunk. The council banned alcohol and its possession in the vicinity of the festival, and just for good measure, local people stockpiled booze from local stores, so there was ne'er a drop to drink. South Korea has a rapidly aging population, so there have been moves by some to get the Silver Surfers feeling better about being old.
This 65-year-old silver fox is changing the catwalk in South Korea. Kim Chil-doo is spending his retirement on the runway. He used to own a restaurant, but it went bust last year. And with a bit of urging from his daughter, Kim enrolled in a modeling school to make his lifelong dream come true.
I believe I made the right choice. Modeling at this age is really fun. Senior, that's just a label.
With the world's fastest aging population, South Korea has a lot of people like Kim venturing into unconventional late career opportunities. In a country where plastic surgery is as common as getting a haircut, Kim is breaking the mold by making YouTube videos sharing tips on how to look and feel younger without going under the knife.
I think all people have some sort of special talent, no matter their age.
Other elderly Koreans are trying to stage a career renaissance, or Grenaissance as it's being called. Seok No-ki is a 66-year-old blacksmith. He was struggling to keep his shop open until he discovered the online retailer Amazon.
I thought people were talking about the rainforest. I didn't know there was this major website called Amazon.
Now, his traditional hand plows are one of the top 10 gardening tools on Amazon, selling around 3,000 units a month.
I've never lived overseas or in Europe, but based on the calls and internet reviews we receive, they now seem to get that this is a great tool for farming and gardening.
Almost half of South Koreans over 65 live in poverty, and the government has been criticized for making few plans to solve the issue. As Kim and Seok are proving, life begins at any age.
And last up, take a look at this video out of Denmark. A Kiwi band called Alien Weaponry. Can you guess what kind of band that is? Always start their gigs with a hacker. But the organisers of the festival, that's called Copenhagen, got the guy leading the hacker to teach it to the crowd. Then it was, after the hack had been done to 6,000 people, back to the music. And that will be all from the Newsfeed team. Reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to our channel and I'll see you again tomorrow.